Hello and welcome to the creaking salt-soaked tables of the Brazen Hydra pub in Bilgewater. We're your hosts, Groven,
Conquest,
and today we'll be sharing a pint and talking all things Runeterra and beyond. Okay, so last time we talked professions, right? And one of the main professions, very near and dear to my heart. One of the most important things in the Riot MMO should be professions. You should be, your end game should be able, if you wanted it to be professions, if you just want to be like you are a Hearthblood and that's all that you are, like you are just a craftsman under Ornn. That's your class fantasy. You should be able to live that out.
I agree.
Yeah.
There should be enough content there and enough of like just like a fun grind that you can do to where, yeah, you're just the guild's alchemist, dude.
And it should be useful enough that you're valued for that investment.
Oh yeah, even for like end game rating, which, you know, assuming there is rating, there better be rating. Rating's awesome. But yeah, even then, you should sell professions that are useful and apply to that end game content.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it's not just potions, right? It's also gear. Okay,
Yeah.
gear is very important.
Yeah.
And when it comes to gear, we had a comment in the last episode from Red Eye 89. They said, "Would love to hear what you think of weapons, gear, trinkets." He mentioned Zunya's hourglass as a trinket, boss weapons, bot RK, even common and rare items. So he's saying, like, what are our thoughts on in terms of items that you're going to be receiving in the game, and how those are going to affect your character, how those are going to affect progression, and just overall. In my opinion, like, I think crafting items is also very important. And then gear overall is definitely very important because, like, we both really love the Legion. I don't know how this is in Final Fantasy, but there are certain items that I don't think you should have, and certain items that I think, yeah, that sounds cool to equip.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In terms of how lore connects to gear, lore absolutely should connect to gear first and foremost, I think. In terms of like just like titling and flavor text and all that stuff, you know, like I should be able to see a staff from Ionia, and just by looking at the title and the flavor text and the appearance of the staff, I can tell this is Ionian staff from like whatever raid or dungeon in Ionia. But at the same time, yeah, there should be like a limit to that in terms of the significance of the items.
Yeah.
Right? Cause like me and Night's Grove, we've already talked like a billion times about how important it is that you are nothing.
You are nothing.
You are an insignificant speck in the massive world of Runeterra. All right.
What's that? There's like a video. You are nothing. I forgot where that's from. It's like a meme.
Really? I feel like I've heard an aggressive "you are nothing" enough times from enough forms of media. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I am nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it comes down to like how powerful these items are lore wise, there definitely needs to be a limit on that. Like I'm sure some heroes like Hui and his paintbrush, right? I better not be able to wield that paintbrush.
Yeah.
That's his paintbrush, dude. I better not be swinging that around on my character.
For those of you who don't know, Hui is a new champion for the League of Legends, just came out recently. So if you're not kind of in the loop of League of Legends right now, it's just the new champion from Ionia. Very cool. But yeah, he wields a paintbrush.
Yeah.
And if you can equip that paintbrush, which would be even weird, that'd be crazy class for one.
No, I just imagine you're a warrior. It's a two-handed weapon.
It's just the paintbrush.
Yeah, you just swing that thing around. It's cool particle effects.
Titan grip, 2 paintbrushes. There should be some fun items, you know.
Oh,
like,
absolutely, yeah.
Like ones that, okay, I don't think you should just the paintbrush should be a legendary equipment item that's just epic and awesome, and you go and kill bosses. But maybe you just equip it and your character, you can like paint with it or something, who knows, in the middle of town, and you could actually do something like it opens up like a thing. You could actually do like a painting. You ever play Splatoon?
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, like characters can put like their actual own little artworks on there.
Yeah,
like, almost like
I
that.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
that'd be really
vote on
cool.
it in the game, like based on what.
Oh man, dude, that would be awesome. Actually, having art in the game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, because I mean, like, yeah, like if we do, let's say, like fight Hui at some point, because we know he's kind of fighting that balance between good and evil inside of him.
Yeah.
Let's say he falls into evil and we have to fight him. Yeah, he can definitely drop some like paint related stuff. You know, like he better drop some like thematic stuff that your character can equip and do stuff with. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm so into that. Definitely in terms of like lore gear, there needs to be some lore thematic gear.
Yeah.
But I also think there needs to be a limit to how powerful and iconic that gear is. If there's only one thing of something, you know, if it has a name, if that person's weapon or armor has a name already established and there's only one of it, you should not be able to get it.
That's the way to think about it.
Yeah, I think that's a
I
good
never thought
rule.
about it that way. But yes, if it has a name, if there's some kind of name attached to it already, that means it's pretty important. And if that means there's only one of it, so it doesn't make sense for everyone to have it.
Yeah, exactly. That's always how I felt about Doomhammer in World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
Ashbringer in World of Warcraft.
Or the shards of Frostmourne. Like, how many shards did this thing have? Everyone seems to be equipping two of them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's one issue that I had with Legion actually. Was that Legion definitely brought us too close to the heroes of
The god
Azeroth.
level, yeah.
Yeah, to god level.
The Ashbringer. Like, you're just going to run around with the Ashbringer using it on Murlocs in the
Yeah,
middle of
exactly.
quest. That's where you're going to use it.
Yeah. What's it called? Movie Aladdin, where Abu pulls out the sword. Look out, he's got a sword. You fools, we've all got swords. We've all got Ashbringer. So how it feels. It's like if everyone has Ashbringer, what the heck's the point?
It devalues the
It's
item.
not special anymore. Yeah, exactly.
The tier of the goddess, right? It's an item in League of Legends.
Mhm.
But that thing in the and there's a cinematic that shows Ezreal literally raiding a Shuriman tomb to get this tier of the goddess. And this is like an intense battle. He gets attacked by void creatures. Like, it's not a small feat.
Mhm.
So it's like, it feels powerful. And there's like some history to this item that it could be the tier of the creator of our planet. And then this guy everyone's got it equipped as a PvP trinket.
No, exactly. Like, no. Because then, even like story wise, it's like, well, you can't do anything with that item anymore, right? Because we looted it. I feel like
Yeah.
as soon as you loot like a significant item in the world,
Yeah.
you can't write anything for that item anymore because it's there now. It was on everyone's equip. Now it's in everyone's banks because everyone geared past it.
I
So
like
it's
the way
just
you put
done.
it. It's such an easy way to put it. If it has a name, if it
Yeah.
already's got a name, don't everyone get it.
Yeah, exactly. Even you brought up earlier about Mordekaiser's what's it called? His weapon.
Nightfall.
Yeah, exactly. Just the fact that even though that weapon is probably not like the most like insanely like significant thing ever, it's not like this thing has some like crazy power that drives a story forward of the plot or anything.
Yeah.
But it's Mordekaiser's weapon. It's called Nightfall. That's his weapon. All
Yeah.
right. We don't need a billion Nightfalls hanging around.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Yeah, it just makes everything feel so much more like, oh, okay, so where do we stand now in terms of power, right? Even if we fight Mordekaiser, it's still just that looting his hammer makes everything feel so much more like, okay, now we are as strong as Mordekaiser.
You know,
Now we have that power, and it's like that doesn't feel right.
no, you should build up your own Nightfall in the game. Like, make your own weapon. You should be able to have your own weapon, and it. Yeah, I really liked it. So I really liked in Legion how you were building up your weapon. Like, your weapon was getting stronger with you, and you were out doing stuff with it, and you were kind of making it your own. Like, you would equip stuff.
That's true.
I would love to see something like that where there's certain weapons that you get and you kind of build them up and you make it your own. And you could even, I don't know, maybe you could name it. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessary, but at the same time, like, making your own Nightfall, like your
That
own
could be
epic weapon.
interesting. I think my only issue with how Legion, obviously, like Legion, the way they did it was like not that good, right?
No.
Like they kind of scrapped it halfway through the whole idea of weapon progression. And I'm kind of happy they did.
Yeah, they just made it where, like,
for it.
Everyone's 100%.
Yeah, exactly. They just made it insanely easy. It was a good thing.
Yeah.
But also the problem was that it also kind of just removes that weapon slot, like, because you're not looting new weapons anymore.
That's true.
You just have your one weapon for 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. I did not.
That's the only issue I had with it, really. But then I also like the idea of like that's your weapon and you get new appearances for that weapon.
See, that was cool.
Like, yeah, it's definitely give and take. I feel like there's good and bad behind that. But also, if a character is significant, like in terms of like a player character,
yeah,
if a player character is significant, it should be because the community thinks of them that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's also the whole walled off server thing, right? You know everyone. So if you see somebody day one or like, obviously maybe like 2-3 weeks in, they got the full set of whatever raid just dropped.
Yeah.
And you see them saying there, you're like, oh, well, yeah, that's Jimmy. Jimmy's friggin' amazing. Jimmy's an absolute god. Of course, he got the full set in the first 2 weeks. His guild pushed the crap out of him because he's always top of the meters.
Yeah.
He's sick. He's a god. Right. So that's where I think the character significance should come in. It's when other people in the game acknowledge
the
that.
community thinks you're significant.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the game thinks you're significant.
Yeah, the game should not be patting you on the back. Other players should be patting you on the back.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
like I said before, no one should call you champion. It should be, oh yeah, you're that guy that fought in that war, right?
yeah, you're
You
just a
fought in the
soldier.
war.
Yeah, you're you're the Noxus veteran,
Yeah,
right? You
I'm not.
fought in that previous war.
Yeah, you get like a medal of honor, a medal after the war, like that shows that you fought in it. And he's like,
Yeah.
even like, show me your medal. Oh yeah, you did fight in that war. Good job. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love some like flavor text to show that you did stuff in the past,
Yeah,
but that also should not be like, oh, you fought gods.
yeah.
Well done, champion. No, it's like, oh yeah, you did fight in this war.
Good
Like,
job.
yeah, like, oh yeah, you were on the front lines.
Yeah. Although you're a raid running through like a group running through a raid, in the story, the actual story, you're a part of like an army. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the
Dude.
canon is like you're actually just one piece in this bigger cog.
Okay, we talk about. I feel like Antorus, the Burning Throne,
Yes,
was a very good example of that.
it was. Yes, it was.
Because even though, on one hand, it was very bad the fact that we were literally god killers and we have these all powerful weapons in World of Warcraft. Yeah, yeah, we were straight up god killers by the end of it. But at the same
We
time,
killed death.
I want to raid. Yeah, straight up, we straight up killed death. But at the same time, I want raids to be like Antorus, where there were a lot of moving pieces in that raid outside of what you're even seeing happen in the raid.
Yes.
Outside of what you're fighting, there's a billion other things happening in that war, in that battle that you don't even see unless you're reading the quest text and you're, obviously like throughout the quest line, you're setting up for that raid.
Yeah.
The whole time, throughout that whole zone, you are setting up for that fight and you are helping out everyone. They're like, okay, we're going to do this at this time. When you guys are here, we're going to be doing this to hold off this entire infinite army from absolutely destroying you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You would be dead if it wasn't for us.
Yeah.
But we're gonna handle our part. You handle your part.
Yeah.
And even in the lore, like although you're just one raid group, you're kind of like a whole like.
Yeah, you're a lot bigger than what the game shows. Like you're
Yeah.
not just 20 people.
Yeah.
All right. You are definitely part of like an elite group because you're the ones like sneaking in from the back door.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you're probably like an elite group of like at least like 500 soldiers,
Mhm.
because this is the Burning Legion we're talking about. And there's way more soldiers outside keeping everyone away from you so you can do your thing. And there's like, it's so cool. It was super like tactical. And it was legit felt like the writers are sitting at a freaking table, like, all right, guys, what's the plan? How are we going to infiltrate this base?
Yep.
And I think Riot should do the same thing, right? Like in terms of us like going to what's it called? Acathia, let's say.
Yeah.
And let's say we have to fight freaking Viego, right?
Well, Kathy has the void. The shadow
Or not, yeah, no.
the Shadow Isles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although he's in Camivore now.
Yeah, he's in Camivore right now. Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of a Camivore.
You go to Acathia and fight Belveth, the void lady who's just a crazy evil amalgamation of an entire devoured city.
Yeah.
We go to fight her in Acathia.
Yeah. So let's say, obviously, we should not be strong enough to go there and kick her ass.
No.
Right? There needs to be some significant setup with Noxus, setup with Demacia. And even like if we've done like previous expansions up until that point, let's say we've already done like Freljord.
Mm.
Let's say we go like recruit freaking like Volibear in his like tribe. We speak to his tribe. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna need you and Volibear's like
that would be crazy. Yeah. Ursine, like a group of Ursine are with you who are just like these. They're basically these like almost like shaman, right?
Yeah.
Like Udyr, except they really focus in on their worship of Volibear, and then they almost embody his appearance, and they basically they look like mini Volibears.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And they're like all lightning and stuff. Imagine you end up recruiting that group to help you because there's no way you'll be able to do this alone. It brings back the history you've been through and shows that the world is kind of changing.
I think that's so important. We've already talked about so many times the world needs to feel like it's changing. Mm-hmm. And that's why you cannot just go in there and freaking fight the big bad. Right? You've made your friends throughout the expansions. You've met these tribes. You've helped them. Now is their time to help you, and in return, save Runeterra and all that stuff. So you obviously you need to be in those significant moments, right? Mm-hmm. You need to be part of those big battles, even if you are an insignificant piece of nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So like there's still a balance you can strike there with good enough writing. You can fight the big bads and still not be strong enough to take down the big bads yourself.
Yeah, it's not even
that's really important.
It's not even hard to do. You just have to make it where the lore is not you actually doing this. It's you're a part of a group doing this.
Yeah, you're a part of something much bigger. Much bigger than you can ever even imagine because this threat is also bigger than you can ever imagine.
Yeah. The only thing that I don't think should change is I remember there was one MMO that made it like where your character actually grows older and you
Oh,
die. Like there
what
has
about
to
that Naruto MMO? That was like a
what
browser MMO.
was it? It was like there
Yeah.
was an MMO where like your character literally got older and died and you had kids and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure there are other MMOs that have done that. But that's just like a really obscure example that I know of.
Yeah.
That you will actually grow older and die, and then reincarnate, and now you're like a baby again.
Yeah, let's not do that. It's
Yeah, I agree.
some
You
things are
should
just
stay immortal.
some things are just,
Yeah, it's like
it's okay, guys.
there comes a point where you have to put the game first, and I'm okay with us being immortal for the sake of the game
Yeah.
and just constantly in our prime.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. It's okay that you're not like I think in even in Warcraft, like if you actually played your vanilla character and you're canon, you'd be dead by now.
I mean, consider how many wars you fought in, you should definitely be dead
You
by
should-
now.
even if you're meant to be alive, you should definitely be dead.
There's no way there's a normal life expectancy rate. Like nobody's dying of old age in Azeroth, right?
How do you think they'll handle that death? So like in I want to hear how they handled in Final Fantasy, but in World of Warcraft, when you die, you kind of just enter the spirit realm and you run back to your body. And they do some unique stuff with it. Like if you're a demon hunter, it's kind of like, oh, you're an immortal soul or whatever, and you have to return to your body. There's no real canon reason for other people how it
Yeah,
works.
it's cool.
You kind of just you wake up and the spirit healer supposedly guides you back to your body because it's not your time to die.
Yeah.
They tried to make it a little bit interesting, like with I guess the Shadow Isles and like, oh, okay, bad
Oh,
decides if you
Shadowlands.
return or not. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
it's muddy. It's
but I
muddy.
think I like it, honestly. Like I like
Yeah.
the system behind how WoW does it. Because that means you running back to your body usually gonna be a different experience every time unless you're dying in the same place over and over.
Yeah.
And it's that punishment of time, right? That's your punishment for dying. Is that you have to take the time to run back to your body.
There has to be some kind of punishment for dying. It can't just be like you died, resurrect. Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be some kind of
Exactly.
punishment. I do think the time is better than like losing your gear or something.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like in RuneScape, I think you drop all your gear.
Yeah, like you
die.
dropped Nightfall.
Yeah.
How'd you get Nightfall? I just killed this guy on the field. Apparently, he killed Mordekaiser, so here's Nightfall.
Here's not it gets around.
Yeah, it gets around. It's just here.
Oh yeah, I think
It's in the trash.
It's just
I think the next expansion came out. I was walking around the sun disk in Shadima, and there's Nightfall just sitting there in the trash. Wasn't that Mordekaiser's? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He made it all the way from the death realm to here. They killed him. He dropped it, and this guy just threw it away. He had dozens of them.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, time to take this baby out for a spin. You try to fight like the most basic mob of like the current expansion, and yeah, like it does 0 damage. Like you would just miss every swing, and you're like, oh, this is garbage.
That's because you didn't specialize your weapon. You had to do weapon training. Of
Oh,
course you
that's
stuck
right.
with a mace at first. Come on.
Weapon training. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, if Final Fantasy 14, I honestly have barely ever died in the open world because it's pretty dummy easy in the open world, that game, and I've like over 300 hours in
Definitely
it.
should not be like that.
I agree, that's a problem, definitely. But I
You don't
think in
even know
that
what
game-
happens when you die. That's bad.
genuinely, I think I literally have over 300 hours in this game. I can't really recall what happens when you die. I think you just go back to wherever your Hearthstone is set, essentially. Like you just teleport back there.
Oh, that's pretty timing though. Like, what if you die?
Yeah,
in the
if you
field?
like-
Yeah, that's
If you're
pretty
like, yeah, if you're like in like, Orgrimmar is like where your Hearthstone is essentially. If you like die
Wow.
in Dragon Isles, it's kind of annoying.
yeah, that's pretty bad.
I think that's what happens.
Well, that's
But
why
I
they
genuinely don't recall.
that's why they don't let you die. Just don't die.
Yeah, it's pretty punishing.
How'd you solve the problem? You just don't die.
Just don't die. Just make. I mean, I also play as a tank, so I feel like that also does not help.
Yeah, like if you don't die, why do we have to solve anything?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why the Runeterra should be an insanely easy world
Yeah.
where you one shot every mob, right? Because then that'll make professions useful.
Well, one thing too about professions is you're crafting this gear,
Mhm.
right? How much so it's tough to balance. Like you're talking about raid gear versus profession gear. I feel like you have to find that balance where okay, you have a profession item. Maybe it can I don't know if it'll be best in slot, but it should improve your ability when you're approaching the raid from outside like that first.
Yeah.
But then it also
It's a
gets
very good
devalued
opinion.
quickly is the problem. People just like, I don't care. So I'll just go to the raid and I don't need to buy this gear.
That's
It's tough.
true.
It's tough to balance.
That is tough, actually. I'm not sure. I know. Actually, I kind of like how BFA did it in Battle for Azeroth, World of Warcraft expansion. You'd get a currency for raiding,
Yeah.
or not a currency. It was straight up just a crafting reagent
Mhm.
from downing bosses, and eventually, like you get enough of that crafting reagent where you can craft any
Yeah.
slot you
Oh,
want.
that's good.
So
That's
basically,
good.
yeah. So basically, the whole point of the profession was that hey, if you work enough on this profession, you get it leveled up. You do all the good stuff with it. Then any slots that you have where you're just getting bad luck and you can't get
That's
that,
very good.
if you can't get that freaking chest plate for the life of you from the raid, with enough of this crafting reagent that you're getting from all the bosses that you're looting, you can eventually just make the chest plate yourself
Yeah, or have
for
your
that raid
buddy who's like a
difficulty.
blacksmith craft it for you.
Yeah, it's perfect because even then you can actually craft mythic raid level gear, but you have to do the mythic raid in order to
Very
craft
good.
it. Yeah, and the benefit being you can pick any slot you want.
Very good. Oh, we
I thought that was so nice in BFA actually.
very that is a very nice system.
Yeah, no, I
Take
loved
notes
it
from that
actually.
system.
I
Because it
don't know if they
also
still do it. If they don't, it makes me sad because it was genius.
makes professions relevant and it also is bad luck protection. At
Yeah,
the same time,
exactly.
solves two problems.
Yeah, it's so perfect in that sense because yeah, professions now fill that role of like you're getting bad luck. Well, why didn't you go into blacksmithing, idiot?
We hopped off of the freaking death way too fast. I forgot. I honestly, I was like, I started thinking about something else. But so when you die, how
Oh
do you
yeah.
think they should handle it? If you die in the game,
Oh man.
what's the best way to handle it? I don't think Final Fantasy does it right, where you're just
Yeah, I agree.
you don't die. I don't think I don't know if you should. I don't like dying when you lose anything like gear or gold. Like that seems
Me
too harsh.
too.
That's one of the reasons that World of Warcraft got so popular is that it
Yeah, it's
was
very
a
casual.
very casual, and that was one of the casual things.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 11. You can level down in that game, by the way.
How what does
If you
that even
die,
mean?
you lose experience.
Wow, yeah,
And if
see,
yeah, and if you lose so much experience that you go down to the bottom of the bar, you will level down. You will go from like level 9 to level 8.
I don't like that either.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 11 was a MMO before World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's bad.
Just like any MMO before World of Warcraft, that game was crazy. That
They
game was insane.
they camped a cap level guy until he reached zero. You are
I don't
now
think
a baby.
there's no world PvP, thankfully.
Oh,
In that case, thank goodness. Yeah.
that would have been bad.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 11 is crazy. We should not, don't do that, Riot.
Yeah. So how do you think they should handle death?
No, I mean, like I said, I like how WoW does it because it's at least still somewhat entertaining to do that run back.
Yeah,
You know, sometimes you die in very inconvenient places.
Stormwind.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
die in Stormwind, it's
you're
over.
raiding as a horde player. You have your raiding Stormwind.
Oh man, I've
Oh
died
my
because
god!
when I'm queuing PvP, I'd always stand in Stormwind.
Really?
Sometimes,
That's great.
most of the time I get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll even be dying and I'll get the PvP queue, which is great.
Space out.
Yeah, usually I'll get like a couple more kills and they're like, they're about to kill me, and then boom, accept. But then,
That's great.
sometimes you get got.
Yeah, but you
And
got
man,
yeah.
when you
That
get got,
walk
you're
back is horrible.
it's a long walk back.
Yeah, I don't know if Alliance players have it the same way when they're raiding Orgrimmar.
I'm sure they do. I think it's like literally
Probably.
from that village outside of Orkamar.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all I know, it's like all the way in like Razor Hill or
Yeah.
something.
It's not the closest one. And that's how it is for like so if you died in Stormwind, technically you should be at that village right out that town right
That's
outside.
what I was thinking. There is a
Stormwind.
graveyard in
But
Stormwind.
if you're Horde, you don't go there. You go all the way to the other one.
Yeah, they probably do that on purpose.
Yeah, they do.
So you make sure you can't just like stick around in
They should
Stormwind
definitely do
forever.
stuff like that, depending on what you're doing.
That's a very good point. I never thought about that. But yeah, hopefully in a perfect world where we have Noxus and Demacia as players and you're fighting,
Yeah.
yeah, they should definitely do something like that where there's a world PvP that should affect your spawn point. So you can't just constantly come back and keep trying to kill someone.
There's also the gold cost of repairing your gear.
Oh, do we want damageable gear?
If
Do we
you're
want
in
durability?
plate, no. If you're in cloth, who cares?
Yeah, you telling me I stab you and you don't, that rope does not get torn up?
No.
Are you telling
At
me?
least that's not very expensive to repair. Man, I remember freaking my warrior was so expensive on repairs.
Really?
Yeah, Druid is not that bad because leather. Leather's
Oh
way
yeah.
cheaper.
Dude, I never noticed that. It's more expensive if you're wearing plate.
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I never noticed that. I think mostly because I just play retail. I've not played much classic where, I have zero significance for gold. I just click the button to repair all gear, baby. But I think, I don't know. I like the running back from your from the nearest graveyard to your dead body. I'm personally a fan of that. I can't really think of any other MMO that does it better. You know?
That's what there's no better option out there that I can think of. I feel like that's the best option, but maybe if maybe if they're maybe they thought I feel like there's a chance where we're just gonna go into this thing and be
It's gonna be
like,
something completely new.
oh, like this is so refreshing at the same time. Like I don't want to see the wheel invented.
Yeah,
Like there's
I was
certain
just gonna
things.
say that there's a balance there. I want them to wow me,
Yeah,
but I don't want this MMO to be so out there crazy that it's no longer an MMO. You
yeah,
know
exactly.
that like it no longer has those nice MMO tropes that I love. I'm
Holy
personally a tab
Trinity.
targeting kind of guy. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't think
I
that
like tab targeting.
I like a combination. I've loved
Oh yeah, yeah. I like some skill shots. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
I always
agree.
thought War Stomp, like it makes sense that it's not a tab
Yeah,
targeting. I
absolutely.
felt
Those AOE abilities.
you
Yeah, like
feel it.
yeah, yeah.
I
Like
felt
you want
War
to aim that
Stomp,
AOE ability right. Yeah, and you want to aim yeah, your war stomp.
Yeah. Or
Absolutely.
like an AoE ability, like you're saying.
Yeah, like yeah, you want to round up the like the enemies as best you can. So naturally you don't just want to have to like target a specific guy and AoE around them.
Mm.
No, you want to kind of get them in a nice group, put it like a sweet spot right in the middle between them, drop your nice big thunderbolt, whatever the heck it is to hit everyone.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, single target attacks, I much prefer if I just am able to target a character and then push my awesome class buttons and
Yeah.
run around, make sure I don't get hit and die.
Yeah. Because the thing is, when you make everything a skill shot, I feel like you downgrade. Like look at really any game like Fortnite or something like that. Imagine
Yeah.
Fortnite with the abilities that you have in WoW. It wouldn't work. Like whenever,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that'd
yeah,
be disgusting.
or
That'd be
Apex
disastrous.
Legends, which is I'm saying these games because I mean a FPS is literally all skill shots. That's the
Yeah,
whole
that's the
thing.
whole thing. Yeah.
Counter Strike is just a game of skill shots. Like who does better skill shots?
Yeah.
But when you do that, you can't make the game as complex because now the
Mhm.
person is focusing on landing the skill shot, and like it'll become overwhelming to be focusing on the skill shot and all your abilities. And I guess you could dodge mechanics while doing skill shots, but you're going to be really limited in your ability count. Which
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. Now I think about it. I think Guild Wars 2 is the only example I can think of where there is no tab targeting in that game.
and how many abilities do they have?
Like 8.
Yeah.
Like you guys like I was like Guild Wars 2 depends on like your weapon, right? If you switch from a two-handed mace to a, just like a sword and shield, your abilities will be different. It's going
Mhm.
to swap out your abilities to whatever the sword abilities are and to whatever the shield abilities are.
Yeah.
So there's that like dynamic feel to it, but you don't have access to all your buttons at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, at any point in time you have 8 abilities.
See, which is like if they want to make the game multi-platform, if they want to have it on Xbox, on PlayStation,
Oh yeah,
on
definitely. And that's like
Nintendo
perfect.
Switch, whatever, on the Steam Deck,
Yeah.
which is awesome. At
Yeah.
the same time, I don't think that they could you could have less abilities if you make it a skill shot game.
Yeah.
But then if you make it a skill shot game, honestly, someone on an Xbox controller is just going to get wrecked anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
That's the truth of
you
it.
have to find a better way to do it where you have, I think, tab targeting, maybe a couple skill shots, and then you could still find there's an add-on for WoW which I've used before that
Mhm.
allows you to I was able to heal a dungeon using that add-on and use a controller just fine. That's all the abilities that I had.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
it's possible, and I can see them maybe if they lean towards skill shots just because of the reduced ability count because you're still engaged despite having less abilities, which will
Yeah,
make it easier to make it multi-platform. But I would
that's
prefer
my
a
fear.
combination. Yeah, I'd prefer a combination. Like I really don't like the Amazon MMO.
Yeah, New World.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I
the
don't
three
care for it.
abilities.
Yeah.
I'm not. I feel like I understand it's all skill shots and you're just running around, but it doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah, that's not the kind of game that I find myself like I could sink 1,000 hours into this.
Yeah, no
And
way.
for an MMO, that's kind of what you have to go for as a developer, right? This Riot MMO is not going to be something that they support for like a year. Like this is not some like fighting game where it's like, oh, they're gonna put out some updates and they're gonna make a sequel. Like,
Yeah,
no, this if they're doing this right,
it's gonna be like
this
10 years.
Runeterra MMO, yeah, is going to go for at least like 10 years,
Yeah,
right? That's why they're going to be investing so much money into this and why it's taking them so long to even release like the smallest minute piece of content about it because this is probably going to be a big game. They're probably working on this thing constantly in its massive scope.
yeah, and if they have the guts at the end, they'll nuke it like they did with Final Fantasy and just make a new one.
That's actually sick.
Yeah, that's actually unreal.
It's actually so cool of them. I can't believe they even decided to keep the MMO going
That's
because
freaking.
that MMO at first was a mess. It was horrible. I'll just show you like there's like documentaries and stuff on the
I
old
heard. Yeah,
yeah before A Realm Reborn was like their new vanilla basically. but just oh my god, I think that's insanely cool. But yeah, like if you only have those like certain number of abilities and their skill shots, I can only land a skill shot so many times where it's satisfying to a point where I'm just kind of over it,
Yeah.
you know, and like it's just like muscle memory at that point, and I'm just feeling mundane. But when you have something like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14, where you have this really intricate class going on with all these different moving parts and like all these different combos you can do, all these different situational things you can perform,
Yeah.
it suddenly keeps you playing the game a lot longer, long enough to hopefully, get into your like niche community of people on your server and get invested in the world and everything like that.
I think that's what it is. Like instead of me thinking about trying to land the next shot, it's me trying to think about what am I gonna do? What is this thing, either the boss or
Yeah,
my enemy in PvP
especially.
gonna do? Because I love PvP. Yeah.
He's very like you need to utilize every corner of your class
Yeah.
to make the most out of your utility and your damage
The
and your
stupid
healing.
stuff. Like when are you ever gonna use spell reflect in raid?
Yeah,
Like if
exactly.
you're a PvP PvEer, you'll never use certain abilities. Spell reflect is like something that if you're about to get hit by a magic spell,
Hmm.
specifically one that's targeted at you,
Yeah.
you can reflect it.
Yeah.
And
It's so cool.
yeah, if you're a tank, maybe there's a use case for that, like mobs, maybe you could spell reflect some stuff.
Yeah, just for like fun.
But yeah, you're not going to do any damage. It's not really worth it. But in PvP, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
like a very big and important cooldown.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thinking that I like to think about is because I'm trying to get in someone's head and think, what are they going to do? How can I make it harder for them to do what they want to do? And
Hmm.
what do I need to do to react to that? And what do I have like that I can use still available?
Hmm.
And when's my cooldowns coming off? Like there's a lot to think about compared to whoever lands more shots wins.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely.
it's
I completely agree. It's no longer just about getting in cover and poking your head out
Mhm.
and shooting out an ability and then running back into cover. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
no longer that kind of stuff. I mean, I think line of sight should definitely still be a thing. I think line of sight's very
Line of
cool,
sight is cool.
hiding around corners and stuff, but
We
not nearly to the
we
degree
say
of if
that
there are
because we're
skill
melee.
shots. Yeah, that's so true. We do say that because we're both melee. It's
Yeah.
like freaking casters.
Yeah, yeah.
Hit me now.
Yeah. As a feral druid, you gotta hit and run behind the pillar and go stealth again.
Yeah,
It's the
dude.
dream.
I
Yeah.
love
Right.
that kind of stuff. I hope we see that in the MMO.
Mhm.
But also, I just thought about that makes it a lot more hopeful this will be a tap targeted MMO. They
What?
want to appeal to League of Legends players.
True.
Oh, and League of Legends is all skill shots, isn't it?
Nah, no. I mean, there's tap targeting and skill shots.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
I was scared for a second because I'm mostly a Dota 2 player.
Yeah.
I don't play much League. But I do know whenever somebody compares them, they're like, oh, League is skill shots. Dota 2 is you just target. I mean, we'll see if they go like the
And you
Guild
only have a
Wars 2
couple
route.
abilities. Like, they're
Yeah,
all skill
that's
shot.
very much Guild Wars 2 route.
Here's
If they follow League of Legends.
here's what I say. You take that League of Legends character, you keep those 4 abilities as skill shots, and you add tap targeting abilities to flavor it out.
Please.
That's what you do.
Oh boy, I did not consider that.
Yeah. Why is Dota all like tap?
Dota's almost entirely, yeah. Like there are skill shots, but they're pretty far and few between, you know? Like you might have like a couple heroes that are mostly skill shots,
Yeah.
but I would say probably like maybe like 70-80% of your abilities are just you click the ability and then you click on the person and that targets them, you know?
I also want to say this when it comes to tap targeting versus skill shots. You also widen your player base with tap targeting.
I think it's a lot more accessible.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
Like there's that when someone gets, older or even younger, it's way easier when they don't get younger. When someone's younger, not in like the middles, when they're like whatever 20s and 30s,
Yeah.
you're okay.
Yeah.
But then when you get up to like, we start getting older, yeah, you do get slower. Okay, your reaction time slows down.
Mhm.
It's way easier to tap target than it is to skill shot. And also when you're younger, when you're a little kid, it's way easier to tap target than it is to skill shot.
Yeah.
But then again,
definitely.
I've seen like little kids land these Mario jumps.
Oh, I mean, have you
So-
seen kids play Fortnite? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, still, also, it's just like taps are like I know we talked a lot about how insanely like much utility there is
Yeah.
behind like when you have like 20 abilities.
Yeah.
But also the truth is, if you don't want to use all 20 of your abilities, you can just use like 4 and you'll get by in terms of PvE content. You know?
You would.
Especially if you're starting off from like level 1 and you're getting each ability slowly,
Mm-hmm.
it's really not as crazy as it sounds. When you are slowly getting your abilities over the course of like maybe like even like 30 hours, you're definitely not going to notice how many abilities you have by the end and you'll know what all of them do.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that's not too much of a concern in terms of like accessibility. Gosh dang it, Riot! Please give us tab targeting.
Yeah, I really think tab targeting with a little bit of skill shots is really good.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree. There should be some skill shots. Even like the most recent World of Warcraft class,
direct
the
here.
Evoker.
Or,
Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah,
They
evoke.
have like their like charge up abilities. Even
Yeah,
I think that's really cool. Like their charge up skill shots. You'll hold down your ability,
yeah.
charges it up the more damage it does, and then
Those are
you let
almost
go
like a
to
League of
release the
Legends
ability.
one.
That
Yeah.
sounds very League of Legendsy, yeah. That kind of stuff, absolutely. I'm all for it. But also even with Evoker, they still have a lot of just targeting abilities. Most of their abilities are still just targeting.
Mhm.
They should save it for like your big fun attacks, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And even more important than even more important to me than if you have skill shots or if you have tab targeting is that everyone's abilities should be unique to their class. And I do
Mhm.
think it's going to be a class system. I know people are saying I want to be all the classes like Final Fantasy. I think it's going to be a
Mhm.
class system because there's so many unique classes in League of Legends that could easily translate over into a class in the game. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
can't see everyone being everything, and I feel like that's almost boring.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
But I feel like everything that we talk about goes back to you can't be special,
Yeah.
but you are like important. Like when we
You
talk
should be
about gear,
personalized, but not special. You
yeah,
know, I should be like, that's my guy. That's my character. I love my character. But I'm also like, oh, my character is an absolute insane mega god who killed 1 billion soldiers.
champion.
Champion.
We couldn't have done it without you, champion.
Yeah, exactly. Is there between your character being personalized and your character being special?
Azeroth is in your debt, champion. Runeterra needs you,
Yeah.
calling for aid to only the champions.
Seriously, yeah. There's a distinction there that needs to be made.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and that's all everything we're doing. Like, okay, so we're talking about gear. We're saying, yeah, if it has a name, don't use it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to use a shovel, but
Yeah,
you
like
shouldn't be using Nightfall. You know,
yeah,
like I'm not saying you
absolutely.
shouldn't use a hammer, but you shouldn't be equipping Orin's hammer.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy literally named hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True. Literally.
and then same thing with abilities. I feel like abilities need to be unique for your class, and it should not homogenize across everyone.
Definitely. And I mean, luckily, I think Runeterra points more in that direction
Mm-hmm.
of like not every race can be every class. You can only be one class. Because when you compare World of Warcraft's world, where the classes and races are pretty limited, at least especially like old World of Warcraft, I think they're changing that now. I don't like it.
Yeah,
But compared to like say Final Fantasy 14, where Final Fantasy 14, the races in that game are pretty much everywhere,
yeah,
right? Like sure you have your place that might have more Lalafell, like more little people than
mhm,
humans,
yeah,
but you're still gonna find humans there. You're gonna find humans everywhere. You're gonna find Lalafell everywhere. You know, you're gonna find your cat people everywhere.
hmm,
So those races are pretty mixed for the most part, which is why it kind of makes sense that yeah, they can just be everything. It's whatever.
yeah.
Like they can be any class they want. Runeterra leans a lot more into Azeroth's side,
It does.
where it's like, yeah, like the only race you're really gonna find everywhere is the Yordles, and even then, they're still pretty distinct in terms of their culture.
Yeah,
You know?
humans. I mean, you can find humans everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, humans are the most. They're the most common race in Runeterra. Is definitely humans,
Hmm.
and then it would go Vastaya, and then it would go Yordles.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I always assumed like Yordles are just kind of like friggin' it doesn't matter. They're everywhere.
I mean, they're definitely everywhere. Like you can find Yordles literally everywhere, from freaking Demacia to the Shadow Isles. You will
Oh, yeah.
find Yordles,
Oh,
but at the
okay.
same time, there's not like a large like population of Yordles. You know, I've
Oh,
never seen like
okay.
a Yordle camp, Yordle
Yeah, no,
hunting
it's
group.
definitely not. Like Bandle City is where the Yordles are.
Yeah,
Other than that, any Yordle you find in Runeterra is basically a nomad,
yeah,
right? Where they're just kind of making their home somewhere else for a little while.
yeah. Some of
But
them are
so,
crazy. Like they never go back. Like some of them just say, I don't even know how to get back. Some of them say that.
that's crazy.
Yeah, like there's that one Yordle in Mage Seeker. I forgot her name, but you start asking her about Bandle City and like all the other Yordles and stuff, and she's like, I have no idea. I honestly haven't been there in freaking generations. Like I don't remember anything about it, but I might go back sometime if I can
Oh
figure it out
man.
almost.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
they really like, I mean, they leave for a while. Uh
Oh, okay. So you tell me then. Do you think that every race will be able to be every class in terms of just how much the races are mixed throughout the world of Runeterra?
I think most classes every race can be, and certain classes no. Like
Okay.
for example, I always go back to the
Yeah,
shaman
shaman. Yeah.
Udyr. There are no Vistayan shaman,
Yeah.
right? There are no Yordle shaman and the
Mhm.
Freljord
Yeah.
similar to Udyr.
Mhm.
So I don't think you'll see that.
Okay. Yeah,
You know,
that's fair.
yeah, I think there's
Yeah, maybe if they do like some like tinker class, that might be like a Yordle specific thing. You
yeah.
think?
And I
You
think
know?
there's certain I think it needs to have flavor between what your race is versus the class that you pick too.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's
Yeah.
important. Where like even like the starting gear for a Yordle warrior should be different from the starting gear
Yeah.
for like a human warrior
And
and that kind of stuff.
I've never seen a Vastaya in Demacia.
Really?
Yeah, there's a dragon, but I've never seen a Vastaya.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, so there still is some like distinction in the lands at least,
they're
like
kind
to
of
some degree.
Vastaya allowed in Demacia. I'm gonna look that up. Aren't they? They're kind of magical. Like
That's what I was thinking.
yeah,
I think out of the three races, the three primary races, Vastaya are definitely the most magical, I
yeah,
would
but
say.
they're not magic. I mean, they're more like spirit realm kind of
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Does
Maybe
Demacia make that distinction?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
Does Demacia care?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh man, but yeah, I still think I hope they do the one class thing. Because I mean, even in like obviously like the characters of Runeterra are very much one thing,
Yeah,
right? I mean, granted, I think Final Fantasy 14 is also kind of like that, but also those characters do move around a lot in terms of what classes they are. Like even in Final Fantasy 14, you'll see a character who maybe is like an assassin at one point, and then wields a sword next expansion.
yeah,
So even they kind of mix things up to some degree, but Runeterra especially is like like Darius, that dude's a warrior. All right,
yeah.
he's a warrior.
He is definitely a warrior. That guy ain't changing.
Yeah, I feel like most characters are pretty deep into what class they are, and that like flavor and lore really expands on what class they are specifically. So I hope they do the same for our characters in
Yeah.
Runeterra.
Like
That's what I expect.
if you look at Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, right? Not every class is there, but you
Hmm.
can definitely see where they got the classes from. You
Yeah.
know, like Malfurion, okay, he's a druid.
Hmm.
And they have I think the other druids in the game. But looking back at it, like you see where they got the class from. Then there's a lot of classes that weren't even in the game. Like I don't remember
Yeah, from
any.
like Warcraft 3 into
There was like
Warcraft,
just
you're saying?
one, yeah, like there was just one warlock, and that's Gul'dan.
Yeah, yeah, no, warlocks were definitely never considered to be a part of the Horde or the Alliance.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
and there was just one. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm saying like even though we're always struggling, like oh, you know, what classes would there be? Really, they could pull anything.
Yeah, they can make stuff up, dude.
Yeah, they can make stuff up, and like the person that we think, oh, maybe that wouldn't be a class. Like for example, the new character Hui. Like
Yeah, yeah,
we
he
don't
could
think he
just be
could
a
be a
freaking
class,
gangster. Yeah.
but you could legit like we could come in
They
and be
could
like,
just make that.
this is the only guy who does this.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, okay, there's this whole refugee camp from where he came from, which was destroyed by Jin. Uh,
Yeah, they like found his like his paintings that
yeah,
survived, whichever one survived, and they started learning his
the whole
crafts
class
and
around it.
whole class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
the
They
hearth.
can, yeah, I mean like from where they are right now, yeah, they can write whatever the heck they want.
Yeah,
Everything right now feels so foundational. That's the thing. Like nothing is really set in stone yet.
there is one thing I do want to say that does I know the answer, but I just want to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
So in Legends of Runeterra, right now you have Volibear and now you have Mordekaiser who are like huge giant characters, which
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna I don't know if we're gonna fight them or not. I think Mordekaiser is a guaranteed gonna be a fight. I don't know if we end
Yeah.
up fighting Volibear
Yeah, I
in
don't think
MMO.
so. Unless he's kind of like like Odin from World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Where he's just a dude that's looking for a good time. You're gonna fight him a little bit. He's gonna play with you. You're not really gonna do any damage to him. He's just looking for some fun.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that with Volibear for sure. Because Volibear is just insane like that.
Yeah. And so in Legends of exactly, so he's kind of like this really big character. I think he's going to play a significant role in
Oh yeah.
MMO.
We're definitely gonna see him at some point. We're gonna see him like just being as tall as a mountain casually.
Yeah, but then you have like in this story right now in Legends of Runeterra, you have Nyla who's kind of just going against these larger than life creatures. You know, like
What?
she fought against Volibear and now she's fighting against Mordekaiser. And I hope that this isn't like I know that we want things to be canon, but I don't want to see this random character Nyla just I'm not that she's random, but she is
Yeah, she's
just
like not that like significant.
she's a character, you know, okay,
Yeah, she's there. She exists.
but I feel like she shouldn't be able to compete with these characters of Volibear and
Oh, there
and
definitely should be like
Mordekaiser.
power scaling between the characters. Yeah,
Yeah, and
true.
so I hope that this doesn't become like a canon thing, like this happened already.
Mhm.
Even though I think I don't know if it is or it isn't. Like we haven't gotten exact confirmation of what's canon and what isn't. They said they're going to start
Yeah.
moving forward, that they're going to start making everything a unified canon.
Hmm.
At the same time, like I think that they could use Legends of Runeterra to flesh out stories.
Yeah, definitely.
But right now, I feel like they might be just diving too deep into like a lot of these major characters. I mean, Hearthstone, at the end of the day, Hearthstone's very similar, and it's kind of Hearthstone's not really canon on anything.
No, it's really
It's just
not.
kind of like fun stories, and you're
Yeah.
battling. Like you can literally fight. You can go through all of Next Ramus. You know?
Yeah, I think it's canonically in Azeroth it's just a card game.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. At
yeah,
least in World of Warcraft it is.
yeah. And
Like Hearthstone exists in World of
I
Warcraft. It's a
hope
card
that
game.
Legends of Runeterra also exists in
That'd be
Azeroth
really
card game.
cool.
Uh,
That'd be really neat.
There's so yeah. I hope it's like not canon. All this stuff. Like I hope that
Yeah.
this stuff kind of just stays like in Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah.
A lot of the art, I hope the art, like there's a lot of art and cool pieces that they could use to reference to make this stuff canon.
Yeah.
But certain stories, I think, should just be like
I
I don't know
know.
if I don't think Nyla should fight Mordekaiser.
Yeah, no, definitely
Yeah,
not. There's definitely a power gap there. At least it feels like there should be in terms of what they've accomplished.
yeah, she
You know,
should
in terms of the feats that they have done in their life.
exactly.
Mordekaiser has definitely done way more in terms of just raw power.
Yeah, I might do a video on Nyla, who is Nyla, pretty soon. But I
Mhm.
just feel like there's certain characters that are larger than life that shouldn't be challenged by a single individual. Like
Yeah, Mordekaiser's going to need all of Runeterra to take him down,
exactly,
right? Like I can't see it happening any other way. If it does, I will be disappointed.
exactly. I hope honestly. So, did you play The Witcher?
The Witcher a little bit, not
Well,
too much.
so in The Witcher, you have this card game called Gwent.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
freaking loved Gwent in The Witcher to the point where so you see how we're saying and Hearthstone came out and then they said, oh, Hearthstone's in World of Warcraft. It's like a card game in the game.
Yeah.
Uh, but then you have Gwent, which came
Yeah, The
in
Witcher
the
is the
game
total
first.
opposite. Yeah, yeah.
And then it became a card game because people loved it so much.
Yeah.
I almost hope that you can like they somehow link in Legends of Runeterra into it, where if you can sit in an inn in the game, and it could. I've always said this, like they should be able to sit in a pub in World of Warcraft or in like an
Yeah,
inn or
and
whatever
play
and play
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. Like
Yeah.
you see a guy, right? Like if I see my buddy in playing the game, I'm like, oh, you want to go play a match of Hearthstone, and we could literally go sit down. And it'll open up, in a window. Now you're
Yeah,
playing
you're
Hearthstone.
playing.
It's your account. Like you're just playing
Yeah.
Hearthstone, but you're in the game. So it feels almost organic, similar to how Gwent,
Dude.
you feel like you're in the game still.
Yeah.
Like, why not merge things together? It's okay to have like people playing.
Yeah, some like crossover. And it'd be so easy because you just have a Riot account, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna
Same
be
account.
signed into your Riot account on the MMO. Yeah, you're gonna be signed into your Riot account in Legends of Runeterra.
Mhm.
There's no way it would not be like that difficult to cross them over like that and put Legends of Runeterra in the MMO.
Yeah, you should be able to walk
Totally
by
do
and
that.
see people playing and look at like, oh,
At least
you
you
can
put
watch
cards
the
or something
game.
and you can like spectate.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love that.
Like imagine you walk into the inn and that's how you make stuff feel alive is by adding stuff like that, I think. Like
Yeah.
when I want to walk into an inn and see people sitting down, like I want to walk into the Brazen Hydra
Hmm.
in the game. I see people sitting down, having a drink, whatever. And then I see people also in the corner playing Legends of Runeterra. Like that's how and not just NPCs, like these are real players interacting in the world.
Yeah,
I-
totally.
I'd want to see stuff like that.
Dude, even with all these games Riot has right now, because I feel like just recently, right? Riot has just exploded in terms of Runeterra based games. And I can totally see cross promotional stuff happening. I'm surprised that I haven't seen that yet, actually. Like, I don't know now I think about it. If Legends of Runeterra has done anything like cross promotional with League of Legends or with any of the Riot Forge games, maybe.
I don't think so.
Right? I'm surprised by that then.
They're kind of just like because they're both in the same universe,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm so surprised it's not like, oh, like played whatever many games of League of Legends as this hero, and then you get this like hero like card back,
Yeah.
for your deck.
I wonder if they've done stuff like that.
I can totally see that happening with the MMO too.
Mm.
Is doing cross promotional stuff, and I think there should be a limit to that, right? Like, I don't think there should be some like insanely cool mount for playing Legends of Runeterra, but
They have the Hearthsteed in WoW, right?
yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a limit to that where I'm like, okay, if I don't want to really play it, I shouldn't feel like I'm missing out on anything crazy.
Mm.
But it should still be some fun little stuff, like just like some like toy where I get to just like start flinging out a bunch of cards from my pocket,
Yeah.
like in the MMO, like a bunch of Legends of Runeterra cards because I played the game. little stuff like that. Be like, oh my god, that's so cool. This guy clearly plays Legends of Runeterra. He has the toy.
Yeah. Or you can get like a game board where you don't have to be in an inn, but you can bust it out,
Yeah,
play a game with your buddy.
that'd be insanely cool. And obviously, I think they're going to do the same stuff like the other way around, right? Like playing the MMO gets you stuff in Legends of Runeterra.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
Yeah, all right. I hope they do that, but there definitely should be a limit.
Legends of Runeterra is what makes me feel good about Riot's monetization.
Yeah, it could so easily be scummy, right? Any card game,
It could
naturally.
so easily be scummy, but Legends of Runeterra is not. Legends of Runeterra is not scummy at all. Like I'm honestly feel like it's they almost don't care if you spend money or not in the game.
That's
Right.
wild.
Like right now, these stories come out, you just play them. You just play
Yeah,
them. Like
that's wild to
You
me.
can purchase like the battle pass, which will make you unlock certain things as you're leveling.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you don't have to do that, and you can just
Yeah, you're
play
still
the
going to
game.
experience all the content just like anyone else would.
Yeah, and you get a ton of cards, and you could still get your chests at the end that have these cards that you need to unlock the characters and stuff. So it's
Dang.
like honestly, the monetization in Legends of Runeterra is very, very player friendly.
Yeah,
Like the most I've ever seen in any game.
that's why I'm so hopeful that Riot is going to monetize their MMO right to get in the maximum number of players first and foremost.
Yes.
Because they understand that if you get enough people playing your game, the whales will come.
Yes.
You know,
If you
whales
monetize it right,
yeah,
the whales will come.
seriously, because like you're not gonna find whales wanting to drop $1,000 on an MMO that nobody's playing.
Yes, they
Right?
want to drop $1,000, but then at the same time, I understand whales want to show off that they dropped $1,000.
Yeah, but please leave it out of my MMO to an extent. You know?
Yeah, they have to make money. I understand, but
Yeah.
just make it where it's like you make money, but not at the detriment of the game ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be that fear, right?
Mhm.
That the whales will just be too tempting.
Mhm.
But also, they're going to make it's the good old saying of like make $1 today versus making $5 tomorrow.
Yep, Blizzard
Right.
makes that dollar today every time.
They will easily take that dollar every day.
It's because like it's such an easy thing. Like they just make a one mount, like versus making a whole expansion, they just make one mount, release it, and they just print money.
Yeah, exactly.
Caught
And then, but
nothing.
guess what? In terms of long term, the game when
Look,
players
it's
come
affecting it
in,
now.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think numbers have ever been lower. for a
Nothing
while.
feels special.
Oh yeah, no, there's no reason to grind anything in terms of cosmetics. I don't care to grind for anything in WoW.
There's no reason to get a
There's
mount.
no value.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no
because
value in anything anymore in WoW. Which
how
is
many
a bummer.
mounts are just in the store now? Gear is in the store too. You can make yourself like look great just buying the gear.
Yeah, you can make a new account in WoW right now, and within maybe 2 minutes, already look like you're fully geared out with a mount that
Yeah.
looks insanely glowy and cool.
Yep, and
Which
get
is
called
just like, then
champion.
what's the point? Yeah.
Welcome
Get
to
called
Orgrimmar champion.
Dude, that's so sad. But yeah, like Riot gets it, right? With Legends of Runeterra and with League of Legends, it shows that they understand that retaining the player base is the most important thing to keep a good flow of money coming. And to keep that flow of money coming for a long time.
Mhm.
They play a long game. And I think it's worked wonders for them, and they're gonna keep doing it.
I do
with
think
the
it'll be
MMO.
free to play
I think so too.
because
I
everything
can't see a world where it's not free to play.
Yeah, all their games are free to play.
Yeah, their two live service games are both free to play.
Valorant 3.
Oh yeah, and Valorant. You know, I
Also
always
free to
forget
play.
they made Valorant. It feels like the one game that's not Runeterra, and it's insanely successful.
Yeah.
I just forget it's a Riot game. So yeah, there are 3 live service games. All are free to play. I cannot see a world where the MMO is gonna have a down payment. I think they'll definitely be free to play. How they monetize it outside of that, I'm hoping for a subscription. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, I want to make sure that I want to tell them that it's worth playing the game this month.
Yeah.
Next month, I don't know. You better make it worth it. But this month it's worth playing, and I'll pay money for this month.
Yeah, man.
But we'll see how they go about it.
Oh,
I better not be an in-game shop, dude.
yeah. I mean, if it goes free to play, there's gonna be an in-game shop. It just depends on how
How significant it is.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I hope that the way that they do it, right? The way to get free to play but still be perfect for everyone
Mhm.
would be the battle pass, which is basically like a subscription.
Dude, I'm honestly into battle passes.
I'm
I feel
into
like they
battle
get a bad
passes.
rap right now, and I don't understand
Do
it.
they? I feel like loot boxes get a bad rap.
Oh, they probably get a worse rap. Yeah, but the thing is, the scummy people that used to make loot boxes now make battle passes. there is a such thing as a scummy battle pass, right?
Oh
Like the
yeah,
grind is slow. The only good thing you can get out of it is at the very end of the battle pass. Everything else is garbage.
yeah,
You know,
and you have to, and if you don't buy, you're like not gonna get anything.
yeah, they'll make the grind like a billion times even slower to where it's like undoable.
Mhm.
But I definitely see Riot making a good battle pass. And I think a good battle pass is amazing.
Yeah,
I think it's genuinely a good form of monetization because you're essentially paying for what is already free, you know, which is the content of
yeah,
the like whatever content has been released like for the season.
yeah.
And from there, as a reward, you get the full progression path for
Mhm.
you to actually play out the whole season and get all the rewards.
Yeah, that's what I
And that
think.
makes
That's the
sense to
best
me.
move in my opinion.
I
Like
think so
that's the
too.
best of both worlds is the battle pass. Without the battle pass, the in-game store is going to be disgusting. It's hard to not to be because that's how they're their
Yeah.
only source of income. So yeah, they're going to put gear and look appearances and all this stuff on the store. If you do a battle pass, that's basically honestly I see it as a subscription.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
you're subscribing and a battle pass makes it where they're kind of earning your
Yeah, you still have to earn the stuff that you're getting in the battle pass. That's a
yeah,
very important thing, especially in an MMO. That's a very important thing to me.
yeah,
If
you're not just buying it.
yeah, but
And
also the question is, how do you do an MMO battle pass, right? I think like in PvP, it's kind of obvious, right? PvP World of Warcraft kind of already does it just without a battle pass,
yeah, they do.
where it's like, oh, if you're above a certain rating and you get this many wins above this certain rating, then yeah, you'll get like this cool mount or whatever. I can see that working like a battle pass type system, right?
Mhm.
Where you're getting a certain number of wins above this rating, and yeah, like the the battle pass progresses that way through
Maybe like
wins.
achievements.
But yeah, maybe through achievements, like talking about like ahead of the curve type stuff.
Like just yeah, achievements in general.
Hmm.
So let's say that you have this is just like whatever off the top of my head. You have a battle pass for this expansion or this like this patch of this expansion.
Hmm.
And there's certain things that will give you there are like achievements, right? You know, doing quests and just freaking herbalizing or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's multiple ways to earn these achievement points, and you get achievement, but then they also count
Oh,
towards your battle pass, and your
I
battle
like
pass
that.
comes with like certain things, and filling up the it will come like even with gear and stuff like
Yeah,
that you can use and cool stuff. And I freaking love pets.
I
Okay,
like
pet
that.
battles. I don't. I
Oh, yeah, I would love some kind of pet
yeah.
battles. Oh, we could totally talk about that at some
Yeah,
point.
we're gonna talk. Okay, next episode, we're gonna talk about different stuff. Like I like the we're talking about Legends of Runeterra in the game. There's
Yeah.
other stuff like that, like Tellstone Gambit, which is a
Ooh.
Demacian game, which I want to see in there a little
Ooh.
bit. Like other little
Okay.
games that you could play.
Yeah,
And
totally. I love
and
mini games in my MMO.
yeah, and I love finding you find these animals out in the world, you know, and just kind of catch them. And it sounds really bad right now. Yeah, like it sounds
I
really.
think it sounds
You
great.
find really little animals and you make them just battle each other, you know.
Yeah, dude.
But look, it's a cool thing. I like
I think it's
they
adorable. I
make
want to collect
dungeons.
my little dudes. Yeah, I love pet
I love
dungeons.
the pet dungeons, like
It's just
those.
different avenues of content. It's just more reasons to log in.
Yeah, and so like in the battle pass, you know, you get like something like a pet or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
that I really think the battle pass system would be the best way for
dude.
them to go about it, and it's the best player friendly way to go about it, where it's like a subscription. But if you just buy it, then you can get all this stuff. And if you don't buy it, it's fine. Like you don't get all the things in the battle pass,
Mhm.
but you'll still be able to like unlock a lot of stuff that's cool for every player.
I actually kind of like the achievement system you got going there.
Yeah,
I think that could be pretty cool because then, yeah, it's like that's the problem, right? Is that there's so many different avenues of content. Hopefully, there's so many different avenues of
yeah.
content,
Hopefully,
right?
hopefully,
Where
and
you're
you could
not,
do
there's not
all of
just
them.
one thing that you're doing in the MMO. Yeah. And you can do all of them and they all add up
Yeah,
into your battle pass. So that way I could also see it being like, oh, yeah, of course, this mythic raider, this guy doing the high end of high end content, first couple weeks, he completes the battle pass,
yeah,
right? And you see his gear in the city, you see his cool pet, you see his awesome mount he got from
yeah.
the battle pass, like on the final level of the battle pass. Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, that's Jimmy.
You want there to be different avenues of content because you know you want it to be you want people to they paid for the battle pass. You want them to unlock it. You want to like force people in order to get to the next level. You got to play a round of Tellstone Gambit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You don't want to force people into doing stuff. But we're gonna talk a lot more about this in the next episode.
Yeah, oh my god.
100%.
We opened up a whole can of worms right there.
Yeah, yeah. Really opened a can of worms at the end. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll continue this conversation in the next one, right here in the Brazen Hydra Pub in Bilgewater. You can find me at Entgrove on socials and YouTube, and
You can find me, Conquest, at Conquest95 on Twitter.
if you wanted to stay up to date on the goings on for this podcast specifically, follow at the Brazen Hydra on Twitter. where you can add us questions or suggest topics for us to talk about. And you can also find us at thebrazenhydra.com. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.